I got the newest of the Hawas lineup. We got London, we have Verde, we have Atlantis, we have Viper. These are some of the newest from that lineup. We're gonna go through each one of these and I'm gonna tell you what I think of them and if they're worth the hype or if they're just trash. Welcome back everybody, my name is Dalen. Please hit that subscribe button. Let's get into these. The Hawas lineup are some of the most popular fragrances out there. Long-lasting, mass-appealing, and great value for the price. And these are some of the newest releases in that lineup, but there's been some mixed reviews about these ones. So we're gonna crack them open and I'm gonna give you my honest thoughts on whether these are worth the hype or if the Hawas lineup is kind of going in the wrong direction. Oh, and if you're interested in any of these or the other Hawas lineup, there's gonna be links in the description. So I have smelt every single one of these, but I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts. So we're gonna start off with Verde. Very beautiful bottle. You have the green gradient, you have the gold cap, very classic with the Hawas lineup. Their bottles look really, really nice. So in that opening, you're going to get this blast of citrus. It's going to be a bitter citrus. So you have this lime in there. It's not gonna be overly sweet or anything. And then you start to get this mint that comes out, this kind of cool, refreshing mint. If you didn't know, this is supposed to be duping Torino 21, which is an incredibly popular summer and spring high heat fragrance. I just buy the house of Zerjov. It is very high end, very nice, very refreshing. And honestly, Torino 21 is probably gonna be my next niche addition to my collection. So yes, in the opening, you get this blast of citrus. You get this lime, bitter citrus, and then you start to get some of these green notes come out. So you have some mint in there, which adds like this cooling aspect to it. And then you have some, smells like there's some basil in there. You have that citrus. It's very refreshing and very like cooling. This is like the perfect high heat fragrance. This is exactly what you're gonna be wearing when you go on vacation, when you go to a resort, when you're in Mexico, in Hawaii. Just that high heat, you're sitting by the pool, you have your mojito, which is what this actually reminds people of. That Torino 21 DNA reminds people of a mojito. You're by the poolside, you're relaxing, you're in that high heat. This is a perfect fragrance for that. So as far as note breakdown, we have lime, patchouli, we have some rosemary, some green apple, and some amber. So really not a lot going on in this fragrance, but a very nice, refreshing DNA. That mint in there is cooling, it's refreshing. Again, this is going to be a perfect hot weather poolside fragrance, perfect for the spring and summertime. I wouldn't really wear this in the colder months, it's just not gonna project that well. Projection longevity, you're getting like a solid like 6 to 7 hours, nothing crazy, it is a freshie. But again, for the price, I think that this is a really solid dupe of that Torino 21 DNA. Next on our list, we have the newest release from the house. This is Hawas London. And this is a dupe of Brompton's Immortals by Ex Nihilo, which I'm still not sure on why they actually decide to dupe this one because, well, it's just not the most popular DNA. Bottle design is fantastic. You have this blue to pink gradient with a silver cap. Very nice bottle. But again, I don't know why they decided to clone Brompton's Immortals by Ex Nihilo because I just feel like that's a DNA that's not gonna be super popular. You know, in the past, it's been very much so that Hawas dupes popular mass appealing fragrances. They're kind of gonna be good for everyone. And I feel like the direction they've been going is interesting and it's not gonna be for everyone. I will say that this one isn't my favorite. I think it is incredibly strong. This one leans very feminine, very florally. So when you open it up, it's going to hit you very hard with this floral feminine vibe. It's a lot, it's very strong. And I got some in my mouth just now and it does not taste good either. Wow. In my opinion, it doesn't smell that good and it doesn't taste good. Bottle looks fantastic. I wish that they had picked something that was a little more unisex because I think that this leans just too feminine, in my opinion. I think it's just gonna be too much for some people, and I think that it's not gonna be mass appealing enough. So if you're a guy and you wanna wear this, that's great too. But for me, I think it leans too feminine, it's too florally, and it's too in your face, and just not something that I would have expected from the Hawas lineup, to be honest. So yeah, I'm really on the edge with this one. For a note breakdown for London, we have top notes of pink pepper, saffron, and pear. And then for our middle notes, we have rose. We also have some frankincense and some white flowers. And then our base notes of blonde woods, amber, musk, and vanilla. So what I smell is that saffron, very strong. I also smell that rose and I also smell that white flowers. Those are gonna be the strongest notes in my opinion. I really don't get a lot of that pear. So this is going to be a floral, amber, kind of warm, spicy vibe. But again, I do feel like this one just leans way too feminine in my opinion. Longevity and projection, kind of that middle ground, 7 hours-ish. Some people reported less, some people reported more, but I think it's still a little bit new. And once this kind of sits for a little bit, it might get better. But Hawas London, out of all of these, probably my least favorite. Just a little too feminine, and just those florals and everything, just not my vibe. Next on the lineup, we have Hawas Viper. This one is interesting because it is duping a very niche fragrance in Black Afghano. And that one, I really don't know why they decided to pick such a niche fragrance and something that is so not mass appealing. And the reviews have been pretty terrible. Now, if you like Black Afghano, this is fantastic. But if you were going into buying this expecting a versatile or mass appealing scent like the other Hawases, then you're absolutely not gonna get that. This is incredibly niche smelling, not blind buy safe at all. This one I actually have had on my wrist all day, and I actually like it. I know a lot of people don't, but I think it's that Black Afghano like DNA, I think is actually quite nice. So it opens up kind of smells like something's burning, but it doesn't smell like burnt rubber. It smells like burnt peanuts. Kind of like a creamy, burnt smell. It's very, very unique, but there is that burnt DNA in there. I know that some people say that this smells like cannabis. So if you like cannabis smelling fragrances, then you might like this. I didn't necessarily get that. I just kind of get this very unique, creamy, burnt smell, but it's nice in a way. And I thought my wife would absolutely hate this, but she smelled it and she's like, I don't hate it. And that's the same kind of opinion that I have for it. I don't hate it. And for our note breakdown, we have top notes of saffron, cannabis, thyme, green notes, davana. And for our middle notes, we also have some tobacco, some coffee, some cinnamon, some violet, and some raspberry. And then our base notes, we have Gurjan balsam, musk, and tonka. So we have a lot going on in this fragrance. It's known as a warm spicy, it has some ambers, it also has some aromatics in there. It's a very unique scent profile, and I really don't think it's gonna be for everyone, and that's totally fine. But if you like Black Afghano, if you've smelt that DNA or you've smelt Viper, it's very much so a niche style fragrance. And some people are gonna absolutely hate that. I like it. In the weirdest way, I like it. Longevity and projection is crazy on this when you're getting like a solid 8 to 12 hours. Just some of those notes in there make it so it's a very dark, long-lasting fragrance. So this one is gonna last quite a while. And yeah, I've sprayed this on my wrist quite a few hours ago and it's still very strong. So Hawas Viper, I actually like it. So yeah, some people aren't going to, but for me, it's nice. Last on our list, we have Hawas Atlantis. This one is such a unique, beautiful bottle. It starts off going black and then goes up into a dark blue and then onto like this green. As far as scent profile, this one hasn't been getting a ton of love. This one is more aromatic. It has some marine notes in there. It has some citrus, some woody notes as well. What I found is it kind of reminds me of that Hawas DNA, and I do smell some earthy notes in there. I also smell some of those marine notes. Imagine that Hawas DNA, but like a darker version, but you're not going towards like Hawas Black, where it's like that Hachivat DNA. This one is marine, green, but darker version of that. It's a very unique scent profile and it's not gonna be for everyone. When I sprayed it on my skin, I thought, wow, this is different. It's different than all the other ones. The green notes are very much so there, but I actually like that combination. It does have some sweetness. So as far as our note breakdown, we have top notes of bergamot, lemon, apple, and cinnamon. And then for our middle notes, we have watery notes. We have some orange blossom, we have some plum and some cardamom. And then for our base notes, we have driftwood, ambergris, musk, and patchouli. Yeah, there's this interesting sweetness in the green notes in there. It's very different. It's not gonna be like any of the other Hawases as well. And I think a lot of people really didn't like that. So therefore, that's why some of the reviews are terrible. They were expecting something more mass appealing, maybe more sweet, and they didn't really get that with this. I would say that once it actually starts to dry down, it does get nicer. That opening might be a little too much for people, but there just is this unique, sweet green notes with some of those marine notes, and it's very different but very nice in my opinion. This one is definitely gonna be like a warmer weather kind of fragrance. You're gonna wear this in the spring, you're gonna wear this in the summer. This is gonna be perfect for on vacation in that high, like humid heat. You'll probably like it better in the dry down than in that initial opening. Now, longevity and projection, this one is really, really good. You're getting that 8+ hour mark. So that is fantastic. You're gonna be able to wear this in that higher heat and it's gonna last on you all day. Try and smell this one in store because you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. For me, I really like it. Same with this one. I think that these two are really underrated and I think they got a lot of hate, but I think that they're good fragrances. And again, fragrances are totally subjective. I might like this one, but you might hate it. Or vice versa, you might absolutely love London, but I dislike it. That is the beauty of fragrances, so you really gotta get your nose on it. So let's actually rate these as my favorite to my least favorite. So starting off with my favorite, I'm actually gonna go with Atlantis. I don't know why. I think that this one is fantastic, but it's a little more linear. Whereas this one just has a little more interesting stuff going on in there. As far as ratings go, I'm gonna give this one like an 8.1. I honestly think it's really solid. It's sweet, it's marine. It also has those green notes in there. It's a very unique scent profile and the longevity is fantastic. And coming in at our close second, I'm gonna go Hawas Verde, that Torino 21 DNA, that lime, that mint, those green notes. This one I'm gonna give like an 8.1, an 8 out of 10, very, very close to each other, but very like different DNAs. Perfect poolside fragrance. And in our third place, we have Hawas Viper. This is that black Afghano DNA. It's very niche, very dark, very masculine. So don't expect this one to be mass appealing at all because you're not gonna get that. I'm gonna rate this one like a 7.7. And moving on to our last one on the list, we have Hawas London, that dupe of Brompton's Immortals. This one, yeah, incredibly floral, has that saffron in there. It's just, I don't know, there's something about it that I just don't vibe with. I think that it's just a little bit too much, a little too feminine, just not a scent profile that I like. So honestly, I'm gonna give this one like a 4 out of 10. I just think that this is just not a fragrance that I would ever wear. My wife doesn't like it, just no. I think that these new releases are honestly pretty good. The only one that I think they kind of missed with was London. The other ones are very unique and different in their own ways, but still good fragrances. All right, guys, this was my overview on some of the newest releases from the Hawas lineup. Some of these are great, like that Torino 21 DNA, and then you have Atlantis, which is such a unique creation from them, and then you have Hawas Viper, which is that darker black Afghano, which is very niche quality, and then you have London, which really isn't my favorite. It's Brompton's Immortals DNA, just not a scent profile that I like. If you are interested in any of these, there's gonna be links in the description. And then you can also save 10% off on your first intelligent order. They have some great underrated fragrances. You can save 10% using my coupon code. That's just gonna save you guys some money. It also helps support the channel. Please hit that like button if you like this video and also subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. And with that, we will see you guys in the next video.